Good morning. Well, I'm almost in the 270s, guys. It's so close. But anyway, time for this fat fuck to get at her again. I guess it's chest and triceps and some cardio. It's a cold one today, folks. So I'll tell you, today is must be November 21st. They didn't fix my tooth yesterday. They did an exam, said, yeah, it's broken in half, has to come out. So I'm just waiting on a cancellation to get in as soon as possible, which is a pain in the ass. But I gotta let the vehicle warm up. So I thought today would be a good day because we're going to do chest, triceps, and some cardio. I thought today would be a good day to talk about pec tears. And I'll give you guys a quick rundown. I'm waiting for the vehicle to warm up. It's kind of weird. It's like minus 10 Celsius here, which in the big picture in Canada, it's not that bad, but because sometimes when I get up to go to the gym, it'll be below 30 or below 35, but it's just this weird time. We're having a weird November, like your body's just confused. It doesn't know what's going on. It's kind of a funny thing. But I've had 4 pec tears. I had one, I'm going to say it was 96. And I was young, and I didn't really know how to bench properly, although I was a good bencher though, but I was lowering 500. All my tears have happened on the negative, and when I was lowering it, I felt something weird. I was still able to bench the weight somehow, but I had green bruising and blotches all the way down my chest and arms for months. I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But it was kind of funny because I trained naturally as a teenager and into my early 20s for so long, and I thought I had like a natural 415, 420 bench. So I thought, oh man, whenever I get on gear, I'm going to be unstoppable. Well, my body had different plans. You think, oh, if I'm benching for something naturally, what am I going to be able to do on stuff? But and that just kind of started a downward spiral with that. But I remember there was later times after my first tear, I was benching over 405, if I remember correctly. We're going back to the 90s here, guys. And then I was doing some professional wrestling. Then I got into some MMA training in the late 90s. And then I went back to my music career. I didn't really work out seriously after that. I remember, so I can just tell you pretty much the dates. So fast forward to 2016, I was at a charity benching event. And my RMT was there, and we'd already talked, and I was already worried about it happening, but I was lowering 405. And the rest of the pack came off many years later. So that was both of those were on my right side. And then my third pec tear, I had moved to a different city, got in with this group training, and this guy, I have nothing good to say about him. He's somebody in Canadian powerlifting, and he's supposedly a coach, and he wasn't a good one. And I remember that day my shoulder was feeling weird, and he was big on like people going for maxes pretty much every week. You don't do that. And I just said, hey man, something's going on with my shoulder. I don't, and he called me out in front of everybody. He said, be a man, be a man. So I lowered, it was only 315, snap, my left side. That was a nasty one. And then a couple years later, I was getting ready for a competition, and what you do before your powerlifting competitions, the week before, you take the whole week off to give your nervous system a break, and the week before that, you just go into the gym and just hit what your opener is. So I think my opening squat was going to be like 600 or something, and I was in the monolift, and I had 600, whatever it was on, and I just smoked it. It was like nothing. Boom. Okay. But I felt this was really tight. So then when I went into the gym next to do my bench opener, which was just 320, I was already compromised because I had a torn pec. I was lowering 320, and the weight felt heavier than normal, and boom. So I want to put this into context, guys. Before my first pec tear, my best raw, I think I did 405 for 9 reps, drop set, and I think I did 315 for 18, and then I did 225 for 38 in a drop set. So those were my best benches ever. But as I said in my video with about should men over 50 lift, I think the blessings in disguise with my pec tears was that it just kind of mentally prepared me to say, hey, okay, cool. Like, let's move on to a new phase of life. So now at 50, I don't want to have 700 pounds on my back squatting. I don't want that for my hips. And I don't deadlift anymore. I will make a video soon about that. But what I want to talk to you guys about today when you see me train, I'm going to talk about what I've learned a lot about when it comes to pec tear and rehabilitation. So after my second pec tear, where the rest of the pec came off, and I'll show you guys sometime, I'll flex my chest for you guys and show you when I get a little leaner. I could never compete in a bodybuilding competition because I'd look like Frankenstein's monster. After the second tear, it was really bad, the hematoma. And God, you know, our healthcare system up here, they kind of looked at me, sent me home, and then 3 days later I had like a hematoma all around my upper body, bags of blood hanging off my arms. And I went into the emergency, which thank God was about 2 blocks from where I was living at the time. And I just took off my shirt and showed them. I said, can someone fucking help me? So they brought in a technician right away, and then I had to get an ultrasound. And then the MRI machine, I had to wait a couple of months with a pec tear to go see an MRI machine. And the MRI machine I went to, it looked like something from the 1960s, like the Cold War era technology. It was embarrassing. I'm like, holy fuck, Canada, can't we do better than this? And I couldn't even fit in the machine properly. So I just said, fuck it. Like, just whatever. I'll just have to deal with this. So, but I'm going to explain some new concepts that I had when it came to chest training when you've had a pec tear to get around it. Right now, I don't care about lifting heavy anymore. My goal is to just, you know, my body's a suit of armor. I just want it to be as strong as possible to not get further injuries. But I have to be very careful with my pecs. Anytime I make a squeezing motion like this, even opening a jar of something, I have to be very careful. So I'm going to explain more when we get to the gym. So one of the things I love, you can tell it's winter again, one of the speakers in the car is doing that weird vibrating thing. But one of the things I love about getting up in the morning is kicking my own ass, okay? Like, people think, oh my God, I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock, but you know what? It's the best time. You're working with your cortisol, and you get to just kick your own ass. When I was out of shape, man, my sleeping was so awful, you know, and the things I was doing with food, like I was eating like sugar and junk before bed and feeling like shit and not sleeping good and sleeping in really late. That's the worst feeling ever, when you sleep in late and then you're like, man, I pretty much wasted my day. So I like getting up at 4. Once in a blue moon, if I need to, I'll take a nap in the early afternoon if I can, meaning if I don't have any clients or anything. But I did that a little bit a few months ago, but I don't really do that anymore. My body doesn't seem to need it, which is good. But try it, man. Getting up, seeing the sunsets on my walks, it's an awesome thing. So again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and see you at the gym. All right, so here we go. Training for pec tears at 50 years old. Got to warm up. I do a lot of warm-up stuff. Again, I hate killing you guys with boring warm-up footage. This is a great exercise for your rotator cuffs. Elbows at 90 degrees, both ways. And it helps get the rotator cuff warmed up. So again, when you have compromised pecs, everything you do, see, I'm still warming up there. See how I'm warming up the shoulder joint like that with the dumbbells? So when I come down, I'm doing a different variation. I like using dumbbells over the barbell now. I have more control. I can also vary the incline if I want. I don't like putting the incline too high because then that puts the stress on your delts. But so here, just going light, getting the triceps and elbows warmed up a little bit. And what I always do is I start light and just start working up. And as I warm up and work up, I have to constantly be aware of how my body's feeling. This is something that I didn't really have to worry about 20 years ago or 30 years ago, whatever. But last week I had a bit more of a rotate in my press. If you go back to that video here, I'm kind of keeping it in, elbows in, keeping everything nice and tight. Again, going up in weight. Shout out to the hang down. It is slowly coming down. Always in the gym videos, though, you're like, oh my God. So here I am again, just moving up in weight, just checking the tripod. So I got a new tripod there. So again, low production here, guys. If the channel starts to really move and do well, then of course we'll step up the production. But We're going OG, old school. So again, slowly warming up, getting the shoulder joints warmed up, the triceps warmed up, seeing how my pecs feel, keeping everything in close and tight, and moving up in weight. Very, very important. Again, repping out the 150-pound dumbbells. I'm not interested in that, and that's not in the game plan anymore. But as we're starting to go up a little bit in dumbbells, I start to make a judgment call. So again, you can see the diastasis hernia there. So I like to throw constant changes at my body. I don't like doing the same workouts over and over. So I think, what am I doing here? These are 40s or 45s or something. And I get to a point I'm like, okay, do I keep going heavier with the dumbbells? Or what I like to do is I like to use the bands with the dumbbells. Just changes the resistance curve, and it's a nice little change for your body. Your body has to adapt to it. This is kind of an old school powerlifting thing that I learned. But I like doing things differently each week, forcing the body to adapt. And again, I'm making sure of every fiber. So I don't know, what is this, 50s now? So I'm not to the 50s, and I'm like, okay, do I go heavier, or should I cut back a little bit and use some resistance bands? Throw a curveball at the body. So I think, I went with the resistance bands here. This is a good trick. It feels weird. It takes a little bit to get onto, and you look really silly. I should probably do a video on how to do that. But again, cool little community gym. I go in early in the morning. No one really bugs me. Do my thing. And so I'm keeping my elbows in tight, but I'm using the resistance band. I drop the weight, and I think I start moving up in weight again. Okay, really keeping the tension on the ripped pecs. Again, a little bit heavier. Banging out 15, 20 reps, and believe me, your pecs should be starting to get tired. Your pecs are what's left of them. Should start to be getting tired sooner or later. So you always have to be careful, because sometimes when you are tired, that's where injuries can happen too. So here, a different version of a cable crossover, but I'm doing presses. Oh, checking that beard that's not cooperating today. One arm at a time. Some reps. I like to mix it up. God, who is that ugly fat bastard? I gotta look at this guy's face. So I'm finding this very light. My body's come a long way the past few months, so it's definitely feeling in much better shape. But I still have to be careful. An injury is always just around the corner. One slip up and boom. Okay, so I alternated there. I'm going to go a little heavier. Keeping it tight still. What are you smiling at, you fat bastard? God damn you. I hate you for getting fat. Anyway, see, I'm holding one out and doing this. Taking in, making the stabilizers do some work. It's another trick I like to do often. So, again, I'm just slowly working my way up in weight. Yep. Oh, God, I have to look at myself. This is like torture for me. Okay. Again, this might be, I think I did about 5 sets. Again, I don't try and get all the footage in here. I don't want to kill you guys with boredom. So again, together. Then I hold one out. Make the stabilizer do some work. Building up your stabilizers when you have had torn pecs and your antagonistic muscles in the back is extremely important. I wish I knew more about that before I started getting into the career of tearing pecs. I am talented. I can tear a pec just on command now. So, I go even heavier here. What are you doing? Yep. I think this is my last set of these. And then I want to show you guys something really cool for helping with torn pecs and stabilizers. Okay. So, if you're doing these right, you're going to be tired. Your pecs are going to be tired. So again, when you're exercising and your pecs are tired, you have to be very careful, be very conscious of how your body feels, because that's when accidents can happen. So this is a great exercise too for stabilizers. It helps the bench press too, but it's good for if you have torn pecs. So we're doing push-ups off the Bozu ball, so it's kind of really kicking in the stabilizers because it's moving back and forth. I know it looks very girly being on your knees, but you can control the resistance by the angle of being on your knees, and eventually you can go up like you're doing regular push-ups, but again, I have to be exceptionally careful. So, but I can still make these really work. I'm good at adjusting the resistance this way, and I'm working with my body weight. Little back stretch there. Nice. Little back stretch. That's another thing I hate. You know, when you get older and you put on a lot of weight and then you have to go down on the ground and then getting up, being mobile, it's just not the same anymore. I don't like that. That's one of my goals too, is just to be able to be supple. Almost like a ninja. Okay? Another one. If you're doing these right, boys and girls, you're going to get a really good burn in your pec and in your triceps. So we're moving on here. Some dumbbell work. Again, I start light. I do a lot of sets and work my way up. 2 variations. There's a name for this in the powerlifting world. I forget this extension name and who it's named after. But I do it this way, and then I do it like this. And I try to, 15 and 15, I guess. Get a nice burn going. Again, you'll probably see me with those elbow sleeves. I like keeping my elbows really warm when I work out. Especially the gym was pretty cold that day. We have going a little heavier. We have an oddball that comes into the gym at 3 in the morning and leaves probably just an hour before I get there, if that. And he does a lot of stupid shit. He leaves plates all over the place, dumbbells all over, leaves the window open. And, what do? I can't kill him. I don't want to go to jail. My life's going good, man. So I tell the owner, make it his problem. I don't need other people's bullshit and drama. Okay, so I'm carefully working up. And again, working up dumbbells. These are a good one. And, I would give them a whirl, but start light. Be careful, work on your form, and be very much in tune with how you're feeling when you do them. Again here, so now it's getting a little trickier. Getting the 15 reps out, or whatever it is I do. Another shot of the infamous hang down. Hang down number 2, not hang down number 1. But if you can get rid of hang down number 2, your hang down number 1 looks bigger. So hey, another bonus to losing weight. There we go. Going even heavier here, okay? Excellent. Okay. This was another great workout. I had a really good workout. See my jug of water. I use some supplements too. Help a little bit with fat burning, L-carnitine. We'll get into other videos of that. I do not touch, if you're trying to lose fat, do not touch amino acids in your drink. Your body will convert them to glucose and you will not be burning your fat, especially if you're working out fasted like I do, because I still have a lot of fat to burn. Fat, go away. Please don't ever come back another day. So now another underrated tricep exercise is called the Tricep Kickback. People always, back in my day, people always said they were kind of girly exercises, but they're actually really good. And again, I didn't want to bore you guys with a lot of boring footage, but I think I'm doing 12 reps each side. I worked up to the 30s, and I start light. Again, I always just, how's my body feeling as I'm doing this, going heavier and heavier. And then from here, I want to show you guys a really cool trick with tricep pushdowns with just your basic V-bar. A little trick I learned, and maybe you guys have tried this, maybe you haven't, you can comment below. So I'm using the V-bar. Again, I do sets to warm up. So this is how we normally do it. Really flex the triceps hard. But what happens is when we start getting that burn and we're done, people just stop. Here's a little trick I learned. Okay, I changed my arm position to get out a little, see, like that. Now I put my elbows closer together to my front. I squeeze out a few more reps, and it just, I don't know, you kind of notice the difference with your triceps. And of course, after doing your chest with pec issues, even if you don't have pec issues, stretch. These are some good stretches I'm going to show you for your pecs, especially if you have pec tears. Okay, take your time. Don't rush through your stretches. They're very important, especially as you get older. And your recovery will thank you for it. Okay, so I do a few sets of that, walking around. I'm lost. Okay, so here I am again. More stretching. That shirt, that was from a cool company from Norway that sponsored me for a while. Now here's a really good one too. Notice the rotation in my arms and shoulders to try and get at some of that junk in the pecs, the stretching. See the rotation? You really want to go after that shit. Okay? Another shot of the hang down. Enjoy it now, boys, because that sucker is going down. Almost in the 270s. Very exciting. My second phase plan was to get down to 275. Now, I want to show you this to you guys too, is the assault bike. If you ever want to do this, want to burn fat, go on the assault bike when you're done a workout and go as hard as you can. Try and do like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. If you can do 3 minutes all out, you're a god. But try and do a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Try it for 3 sets and then go home and do your steady state cardio. For me, my steady state cardio is walking my dog. Then I go for long walks, walk hills. But it's a really cool thing. Your body doesn't know what the hell is going on because it adapts too. It wants to hold on to fat. So you're throwing all these curveballs at it. It's like, you son of a bitch. Now I got to burn fat. Okay, so I'm just giving her. Sorry, Canadian accent slipped there. But that's what's happening here. Okay? But try that. If there's an assault bike handy, or if you can afford one, have it in your basement, or if there's one at your gym. It is one of the best cardio machines out there. It used to be called an Aerodyne back in the day. I guess they call it an assault bike now. I always knew it as an Aerodyne. MMA fighters use them a lot. Boxers use them a lot. Wrestlers use them a lot. For good reason. If you want a good high-intensity interval training, if you want to call it that, just really balls-to-the-wall cardio, give it a whirl. See, I'm just giving her. I think back 6 months ago when I got back on the wagon, I think if I did 5 seconds on it, I was ready to go to the hospital. So I've come a long way, but still have such a long way to go. But is it the pursuit of happiness or the happiness of the pursuit? I'm kind of thinking the latter, the happiness of the pursuit, because I'm really enjoying myself. I get up excited every day and ready to hit the gym. So that was a crazy set. Try and do like 2 or 3 sets. Try and superset it with the battle ropes. Friends, November 21st, this is a very important day for me. I want you guys to know, first and foremost, I don't play victim. I own all my bad mistakes. But 3 years ago, I got up the strength to get the fuck out of a horrible relationship with someone who had borderline personality disorder. And one of the questions people will give you, why did you stay in it so long? Dude, until you're in one of those situations and how crazy it is, you have no idea. Big day for me today. Big day. 3 years now. Some of the mental abuse and the constant wearing down still plays an effect on me. I have a great partner, and I don't want her to have to pay for the bullshit that I've been through. So every day I try and be the best partner I can be. One of the best things about getting in better and better shape, and you're not a fat fuck and as lazy anymore and tired all the time, you have more energy to be productive and do things. You're in a more positive mindset. So you can be a better partner. As I often say, it's one thing to say I love you to someone. We all do it. It's easy. You can post little lovey-dovey things on Facebook, but then still treat your partner like shit. I think action says a lot more than words. And if you tell someone that you love them and you're committed to them, how can you say you love them if you're not taking care of yourself? You know, you're going to put them in a caretakership by looking after you when you're sick? What the fuck, man? So, this is my sunset. I'm walking my doggy after my workout. Big day for me today. Got my fucking freedom back. It cost me a lot emotionally. It cost me a couple of years in my 40s, 2.5 years. It really cost me financially. But can't tell you, man, for anyone in those relationships, especially if you're trying to get in shape, get the fuck out, figure it out and get the fuck out, because you're always going to have problems. Your life will be a disaster. Life's too short to be a martyr for someone else's bullshit. This is my therapy. There's a reason why I post videos talking about it, guys, warning people of the warning signs. A lot of people don't know about it, and before they know it, they're love bombed, and all of a sudden they're sucked into someone's pit of hell that's hard to get out of. Watch those videos. There's a method to my madness. You want to get in shape, you want to be healthy, make good choices. All that personality disorder stuff, it's all around us. Educate yourself.